Oh, thank you, Brother Washington. Thank you so much for the great work you're doing. We appreciate, and also thanks to my brother Kuda for the great work you're doing. Thanks for the opportunity to speak. Um, I want to just two things or three things. First of all, I want to second the notion, $1 or £1 campaign. I think that will be a very effective campaign. Why? Because a lot of people they want to give, but they may not be able to afford, quite a hefty amount, maybe $10 or 15. And some of them they want to, but they think, you know what, and wanda saka kuti ndibvise $2, $3, zvinenge zvinonyarisa. But if we do like $1 for change, a campaign, $1 for change, I'm telling you, we'll have almost everybody. No, a lot of people, that million number that you're talking about, we'll have those people, everybody paying that $1. $1 campaign, £1, whatever it is, you'll have a lot of people. And we will push, everybody's got circles within their WhatsApp group, families, friends, church people, we can send, have you paid your $1? Have you paid the £1 for triple C for change? I think it can be something that can be exciting. And people posting on Facebook, I've paid my $1, I've paid my £1. It can be exciting and very effective. So I second that notion. Secondly, there is fundraising. I know you've touched on my fundraising and which one with my words and so forth. Here my branch is here in the UK, right? That's fine. That is good, and you explained that could tell us stop as no net. But I think, is it possible to get a memo from the top that they suspend that for the next 10 days? Because even as we are speaking right now, some people are donating their monthly contributions, they might $20, £20, whatever, which is happening right now, even this week. Why not suspend that, right? Whether it's a memo from the top, you end up my branches, could let's suspend, let's channel every money that is coming for the next 10 days to go towards the by-elections. I think that would help. And then number three, Panama regalia. I just want to find out, those regalias that are being sold, are they part of fundraising, or is it people that just are making money for themselves? I wanted to find out, because there's a lot of people that need regalia, especially in the UK. It's I don't know whether it's going to help within the 10 days, but maybe going forward, something that we can look into. You know, putting a prize, whatever, for fundraising, not for people making their own money. That's all. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, my brother. Those are very, very, very valid points that you've raised in there. I probably want to go back to one of the issue you mentioned. First, the dollar per person fundraising. If it was up to me, or to up to us as citizens, if we can come together and say, look, I know a group of 10, 20, 30 people, we are in so many WhatsApp groups, guys, there's this fundraiser which is going, let's do $1. I mean, we're going to do $1 for every week campaign. But a dollar campaign per person, if all of us put our hands on the deck, I tell you, we can make a difference. Right now, there is about 318 people on this group. I can tell you, if we put $1 each, that money will go a long way. But it's not easy. Some people don't even have $1, or maybe some people don't even want to contribute that. But we are saying to those that are willing, this country called Zimbabwe, it's not just my country, or it's not the mayor's country, it's not Kuda's country, it's not Makombore's country, it's our country. So if all of us can take responsibility and say, this is what we are doing, we can go far. Because on the fundraiser that we have, if a person wants to contribute $1, yes, they can go in on the space, it's pinned right at the top there, and do your donation. Do your donation, $1 donation, and it will go a long way. Now, going
I
to another point that you mentioned as well. Sorry, Barbara, I'll let you speak in a minute. You also mentioned whether we could get a letter to stop other fundraising. I I think that at the moment it's probably not ideal, because these are citizens who are coming up with initiatives that we want to do this, you want to do this. So I think that it would probably be unfair and probably unethical to go and say, you stop this and you do this. People are here, they are seeing what we are doing. If anybody feels that this is what they think we should do, that is your thought, then you know um we work together and we do that. But what we are all doing, we are trying to make sure we get to a free Zimbabwe. So I think with that, I'm going to give Barbara the mic to speak, and then after Barbara, we are going to ask Makombore Rizvishi. I think a lot of people would know Mako. He was in prison for a very, very long time, for standing up to this regime. And I think that we are going to give him the mic, and he will share with us, and yeah, we'll hear the story there. Over to you, Barbara.
Okay, thank you so much, Washington. Greetings to all our speakers and our listeners all over the world. Um, I just wanted to chip in, Washington. This cause that Kuda is brought forward before us, it's a good cause, and I would like us to respond accordingly. I know there are a lot of things that are happening. There are a lot of fundraisers that are happening, and I would want to say some fundraisers they are long term. This is a short term. We have short term fundraisers and long term fundraisers. And if you feel kuti you've been fundraising somewhere else and you can not fundraise anymore, or maybe you want accountability, it's okay. And I just want us to take note that the polling agents ndo pane nyaya, ndo pane mongo. This is a serious issue. And I'm speaking from experience. 2018, I was a chief election agent in Keta constituency. And the polling agents, we had nothing. And what did we do? The candidate, the MP, and the councillors in that constituency, and myself and other executive members that were in the district, we had to contribute towards the food. We had to find our own transport. I had to hire a car. Someone was driving me fuel. I had to pump out my own money. But no one even knows that I did that, because I was doing this for me, for my children. And I didn't even ask for payment. And I know what it is like. And I would want to thank the elections committee for coming whilst we still have got time. 10 days is a lot of money. We can fundraise and we can come up with the required amount. Yes, we might have taken care of some other things to keep the candidates going. But these are administrative expenses that we are fundraising. These are the logistics. If we fail here, and then we cannot hold the elections committee accountable. Let's do our part. I know this is a new baby. CCC is a new baby, and we formed CCC, and I know we are on storming stage. A lot of things are happening, and things will normalize. We'll get to the norming stage, and then performing. And then it will come a time when there will be dissolution, but I don't think CCC will reach that stage now. So these are we have to accept in a group, there are different characters and different thinking. So we just have to accept each other, acknowledge what other people are saying. Let's if someone comes with an idea, let's embrace the idea, as long as it's going to take us far. In of just done mapese pamamuchitaura apa ini ndandiri busy. I didn't even take 1 minute to donate. I've just donated because I know this is a good cause. Hatina zvedu mari dzakawanda, but I believe if you put something, it's better than talking and not doing anything. Even if you have donated before, let's donate. Even if it means donating every day, let's donate, guys. Let's donate. This is a good cause. And I'll also urge people in Zimbabwe. I know there are some people in Zimbabwe who have these foreign currency. Let's also be part of this fundraiser. Kofi can take money even if you are in Zim. We had someone who donated $10, and I was touched. He donated $10 and he was in Zimbabwe. I was so touched, and yet here in the diaspora, many of us we are here because of the political situation in Zimbabwe, and this is our time. Let's oil this struggle together. We can go far. Thank you.
Thank you, my sister Barbara. Thank you so much. They say sharing is caring, and I'm sure those who are listening can hear the wise words from our sister there. Um, my brother Makombo, would you like to
Yes,
unmute
yes.
and speak? It's good to have you on the space, Marco. The space is yours now.
Okay, revolutionary greetings, my brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, yellow, it's great, joining this yellow future space. The yellow nation is everywhere. It's great, also, just after the weekend rallies where Zimbabweans were really affirming their support for new, their support for yellow, their support for progress, their support for change. Um, it's also great to be joining also super patriotic great Zimbabweans, virtually discussing about how to secure uh, our victory, our nation, our future. Because of course, it's a reality. The people have already won. We may be speaking of getting into the by-elections, going into the general elections in 2023, but the people have already won. And the by-elections, of course, they are by because they are happening in between electoral schedules. But I also believe the by is also that we are just passing by 26 March, going into 2023. We are just passing by 26 March by elections, going into the presidential elections in 2023. And we are just passing by the victory of 26 March into the people's victory in 2023. So, but the fact that we have won, that's already a lived reality. But what is now needed and required is for us to secure the people's victory. How do you secure it? We secure it through the Operation Golden Shield. How do we secure the victory? We secure it through encouraging people to register to vote. How do we secure the people's victory? How do we secure the yellow nation? We secure it through actually mobilizing people to come out in the numbers to vote. But the ultimate strategy, the ultimate into goal is Operation Golden Shield, defending the vote. After people have registered to vote, have voted, we need to defend the vote. And this is why I'm happy also to be part of it. Just so Operation Golden Shield, you click join, and it's good. It's great that people, in our numbers, have dedicated their time to listen to this, to be part of this, to participate, to see how we can secure our future. Because our future, we've already won it. People power is stronger than the people in power. But all they've been doing all these years, all these elections, all these electoral cycles, has been to subvert the people's will, to rob the people of their victory through electoral manipulation, through ensuring that they make it difficult for the people to secure their vote, to secure their victory. And now we are wiser due to previous experiences. We are, as citizens, taking matters into our own hands, grabbing the future and ensuring that we defend it. So it's important, it's critical that we also popularize amongst the people, stuff like a dollar for change. People need to know that above all, after ZANU PF through the courts, captured courts. He awarded and robbed the people of their party, the MTS Alliance, robbed the people of their MPs, of their councillors, robbed the people of their headquarters, robbed the people of their everything. We told them, the people responded by showing some proof that no, money, buildings, headquarters, councillors, MPs, and other assets are not the critical ingredient for democracy. The most critical ingredient for democracy, the most powerful, tool of transaction in a democracy is the people. Is the people. And the people, after they got all that, we are seeing what now is left of the MTS Alliance with Mwonzora. It's nothing. It's now just but an empty shell. It's now a vacuum. Why? Because the people have made a decision and went yellow, from red to yellow. They've gone from MTS Alliance to CCC. So the people are the most powerful and most important tool of transaction in a democracy. So we have to show it, we have to transform it through many ways. How? Making sure that we as the people who use our numerical superiority under the banner of CCC, the yellow banner, through registering to vote in our numbers, through actually coming out to vote, through demanding electoral reforms, through also participating, taking part and contributing to Operation Golden Shield. So we must know that since we are the most critical resource, the struggle is ours. We need to popularize each and every stage of our struggle, each and every stage of securing the post victory, which is already guaranteed, from registering to vote, voting, demanding electoral reforms, especially with SEC, demanding that it reforms. Either they disband if they are not up for task, if they cannot deliver the task by the constitutions, by the law of this country. Then thirdly, Operation Golden Shield. For me, my understanding of Operation Golden Shield, it's number one, to ensure an effective parallel voter tabulation system for CCC. It's ensuring that, for example, we're going into these by-elections. We have 2,000 polling stations. We have to ensure that we have polling agents who are up for the task, trained, who know their mission on the day of the election. Maybe even starting day before, when the election material is delivered at the polling station. We need to know that we have people who are, in terms of supervising all these polling stations, in order for an effective and efficient parallel voter tabulation system. Because our problem now is we have a competitive authoritarian regime. And this competitive authoritarian regime, what they do on the world stage, in the public, in the media, they flaunt, and speak flower of democracy, flower language, depicting that they are democratic. And they also do it by calling for elections. When they call these elections, they know they're not popular, but they just want to choose these elections to justify their lies that they are democrats, that they are democratic, that they follow the rule of law, the constitution. But everything they do, you discover that they undermine the very systems which ensure that democracy is realized. Like, look what they are doing in the SEC. Moving voters from their polling stations, fraudulent registration of voters. One address, you find 40 people from one address, which is not even in a residential area. People will stay at the same place given the different polling stations.
Marco, thank you, my brother. Can you hear me? We seem to be lost, Marco.
So, so moving further, my point.
Marco, we are losing you. We can't even hear you. Marco. We seem to have lost Marco there.
Hello?
We had lost you there. We couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So my point is, what I was trying to explain, what I'm explaining, in fact, is that Zimbabwe, our institutions which ensure democracy is realized are eroded, they are corroded, they are corrupted. So we have to ensure for us now to realize democracy, to ensure that it's established. We have to put our own means and systems, especially when it comes to the elections. We have to put our own parallel voter tabulation system, which ensures that every vote is counted, every vote which matters is realized, which ensures that along the way we are able to have our own effective means of counting the votes, the ballots from polling station to up to national level. So that's why I'm applauding the Operation Golden Shield. It's to ensure that such a process happens. Because unlike I'm sure we all witnessed, for example, the American elections, where the media naturally they are the ones who be announcing in real time as results are coming in. But here in Zimbabwe now, they make sure that that doesn't happen. They want to find time to alter the results in their favor, to rig the results. So we need now to popularize as part of securing our victory, as part of encouraging people to register to vote, as part of encouraging the masses to come out in their numbers and vote on the by-elections on the 26th of March and also in 2023, as part of securing our vote through demanding electoral reforms, especially from SEC, as part of the efforts to secure the post victory. We need to place critical importance on the value of Operation Golden Shield. Every citizen must understand. We need to do proper and effective political education to make them understand why we need to have a parallel voter tabulation system in the oncoming elections, especially an effective one on the 26th March by-elections. Why? Because it's a test drive. It's a test drive of what we will do in 2023. It's a test run of our effectiveness or our capacity as citizens to sponsor and then to actually man the polling station with polling agents, and also to be able to do our own parallel voter tabulation and counting system, so that we will see and be able to catch them red-handed when they try to rig. So we need to popularize this and understand that we as the people are ultimately the game changers. We as the people are the biggest resource that we have. We are on our own, but luckily we are on our own in our millions. So we need to transform and convert that numerical superiority even to resources. If we are to popularize a dollar for change campaign or a pound for change campaign, it will be very powerful. A lot of us, of course, we are poor, but we will definitely afford at least $1 for change, because it's $1 to ensure that we support those who are on the ground, those who are manning the polling station. It's our humble contributions to those who are doing the actual work on the ground. Because we may speak of polling agents. I may give you a brief history of polling agents. A polling agent is someone who goes to the polling station to safeguard against voter rigging, to safeguard against the stealing of votes. And that person, by doing so, directly put themselves in the direct firing line of SANPIF, of the system, of the CIOs, of the FERET, of the intelligence system. You know, we have had history. We have checked from 2008, even before, and even 2018 during the elections, where we have had polling agents who were victimized. Some were killed, if we were to speak of 2008. Some were crippled. Why? Because they are the ones who will be defending the vote with their lives on the ground. So we need to help them. We need to empower them with the resources. We need to empower them with the food. We need to empower them with even airtime. We need to empower them with books, exercise books, which they will use to write the figures, fonts to take pictures of the V11 forms and send them to the area supervisor. They need to know that they are not in this alone. Their sacrifice to be there physically must also be complemented by us, the movement, the people, to ensure that it will make it efficient for them to defend our victory, to secure our victory for the rest of us. So it's actually a tough job, and we have to make their job easier and more efficient and more effective. Because what we want at the end of the day is to ensure that we have people who are on the ground, we have people who are defending the fort, and who are efficient in doing that job, not just people who are there, but who are efficient and effective. So it's a message that we need to educate, increase awareness around the people that we need to at least contribute $1 for change. And we are in our million. If the message is properly packaged, I'm sure people will understand this importance of, Operation Golden Shield, and why we need to continue encouraging people to register to vote, why we need to encourage those who are registered to vote to come out in their numbers to vote, and why we also need to, ensure that Operation Golden Shield actually is actualized in its most effective and efficient form. I think with these words, yeah, thanks for also give me the opportunity to contribute my 2 cents to this discussion. Then I also had there were discussions around issues to do with like the logistical issues, etc. Parallel for that tabulation by its very nature, I understand that it's most effective if it's centrally coordinated and organized. Because I had some suggestions to do with maybe reaching out the polling agents themselves or the candidates. When we come to this period, special of elections, candidates will be overwhelmed with a lot of things. Number one, they'll be focused on issues to do with, mobilizing people to actually come out and vote. So if you are to burden them with the task of also coordinating the agents, yes, they'll be able to do that, but it will be just too much. Especially when it comes now to basic logistical issues like even a time for the polling agents, etc. So there's need to have a centralized system, because that centralized system in coordinating the agents is also critical when we are now collecting the data that they would have collected from the polling station. It needs to be centralized for it to be efficient, effective, and for us to have the totals. For example, at a ward, polling stations in a ward, the most important thing or the most important reason why we have polling agents is that they'll be able to communicate to a central, supervisor or central command center, where they'll be sending information and the data that they would have collected and the votes that they'll be defending. So yeah, I hope it maybe clear some of the things. But thanks very much. I want to appreciate everyone here. You will see here voluntarily and also contributing to this very important discussion, and also those who are contributing to with donations. May God bless you, and may you please continue the great work. And also those who are coordinating these platforms, it's very, very much important that you may take it slightly, but these are critical platforms which way back then would be equated to the night vigils pungwe zaitwa nguva yahondo. Itori pungwe yatiri kuita because usiku tiri kutotaura, we are managing to have meaningful discussions wherever we are across the world. Itori pungwe, we are having these night vigils and we are discussing critical issues concerning our nation, concerning our future, concerning our welfare, concerning our lives, concerning Zimbabwe, concerning Zimbabweans, millions of them. So thanks very much, everyone. And I think with these few words, yeah, I'm done.
Thank you, Kuda. Sorry, thank you, Marco. Before you go, Marco, I want to ask you a personal and very emotional question.
Mm.
Some people who are here may not know you, and may not know where you are coming from with this fight that we have for freedom or for freeing Zimbabwe. Can you tell the listeners how long you were locked up in Chikurubi by the regime, please?
Okay, in prison, I was there for 10 months, 22 days. In terms of the prison calendar, that's 1 year, 3 months. But yeah, but if you are contributing something to an idea that's bigger than you, these are things which, because I felt that I was contributing something bigger than me, the pain was lesser. I chose and was able to ignore it. Prison is a very bad place, very painful place. But the fact and knowledge that we are in this struggle together, we are stronger together, that I'm making my humble contributions to change. It made me feel that it's a worthy cause, it's worth the pain. Because we have paid the ultimate price. We can speak of the Italian Amaras of this world. Of course, I mention Itai because most of the demonstrations that we did with Itai back then, they were around electoral reforms in Zimbabwe. Itai Zamara's message was around electoral reforms in Zimbabwe. And there are others who were killed during elections. We can speak of 2008. We can speak of even from Kukuraund. We can speak of even, you know, Minda. Why am I mentioning these issues, Kukuraund, Minda? People may feel that they were pure ethnical or land squabbles in as far as Kukuraund and Minda were concerned, but they were part of a grand electoral rigging scheme by Zanu PF. Zanu PF knew that uh, it was targeting during Gukuraund, it was targeting Joshua Nkomo and Sap Kada because they were clear contenders to his throne, clear contenders to his power, clear competitors to his power, who were offering a viable alternative. So, in order to defeat them, they had to eradicate them, commit a genocide against them, outlaw Sap as an opposition. And that's how they killed over 20,000 people. If you go to Onde Minda, you discover that the issue, yes, we may speak of the 5,000 white farmers who were displaced of their land, but there were 200,000 black Africans who were workers on those farms, who were supervisors on those farms, who were foremen on those farms, who were teachers on those farms. Those people were displaced. Why? Because Mugabe had lost the referendum, the constitutional referendum. It was in 2000. He had lost it. It was in the constitutional referendum. He had lost the constitutional referendum. And after losing the constitutional referendum, the only way he discovered that no, there are 200,000 voters, blacks, who were on these farms. So by dealing with the 5,000 farmers, they were also displacing and displacing people who were registered in those areas. So over 200,000. And these people, we saw them, you know, as part of the wider rigging scheme, because we're now approaching presidential elections. They were also affected by Muramba Train. So we may view them in other things, but it's a wider voter manipulation and rigging scheme by ZANU-PF. Muramba Train, people was also destroyed. But these were the very same 200,000 blacks who were displaced from farms during Onde Minda. They no longer had permanent residences. These people were now, ineligible to vote. They were never able to vote. And they can't vote because they have no place of residences. They have been displaced from areas where they were registered to vote. So you discover that at the end of the day, yeah, it was painful, but it was my humble contribution, and it's nothing compared to what all these other people that I've mentioned first. And yeah, it's nothing also compared to what Mbonenwe, who also paid the ultimate price for simply choosing yellow, for simply choosing gold, for simply choosing a better Zimbabwe, for simply choosing a better life over corruption, choosing human rights over, SANU-PF killing instincts, for choosing jobs over, the destruction of industries, for choosing a brighter Zimbabwe over, darker Zimbabwe, for choosing light over darkness. So yeah, prison on its own was bad and it was painful. But also the people there in prison, if I maybe to just give a short description of how I understood them over this period that I stayed with them, they are more like, for me, prison, it's more like a cemetery of dreams, a graveyard of aspirations. Why? Because people who are in there are people, largely they are there because they are committing crimes of the economy. They don't have jobs, they don't have hope. They are forced into crime just for survival. They are forced into armed robbery for survival. They are forced into fraud for survival. And there are many who, if you talk to, you can clearly see that they were disadvantaged from an early stage. They were denied an opportunity to education because education was not available for all. It's expensive for them, despite Constitution saying Section 75 of the Constitution, saying education is a right. There are some who failed to acquire education because their parents were killed in Kukura. Thus, they don't know to have birth certificate, they don't have national IDs, national registration, documentation. So they can't progress with education. And there are those who managed to get educated, but after they graduated, they failed to get employment. So they are forced into crime. And if you check their numbers, prisons it's overcrowded right now. They are overcrowded our prisons. But if you check the majority, 99%, they are young people. They are youths who have lost hope, who are trying to make ends meet through crime. It's not like, yes, it's delinquent behavior and we do not condone crime, but they are simply also following the footpaths. They are just tracing the footmarks of their leaders in government. How are they surviving? We see them with assets of prestige, buying mansions, building mansions with Lamborghinis and stuff. But all these assets of prestige are acquired through crime. They are stealing from us. They are stealing billions. They are stealing millions. They are giving tenders to their friends. They could acquire the grace of this world. The farm mechanization scheme, command agriculture, money being stolen, money from Sinara, we pay token. Our tax money is being stolen by these people. So they are setting, an example that for you to make it, you have to steal. And yes, we can say those who go into prison armed robbers, but what do we call if Emerson Mnangagwa steals money, government money, billions? Like his son stole the drugs money, 60 million drugs money. Yet Emerson Mnangagwa moves around with a motorcade, an armed motorcade. The armed soldiers there. So what do we call that? Is that not armed robbery? It's armed robbery, of course, but he's not accountable. He can't account because he's guarded by soldiers. He has soldiers, and yeah, I hope maybe if you have another question, you can ask.
Thank you, Kombo. The reason why I asked that question is I just wanted to put a perspective to everyone who's on the call tonight that we have people like you who have been working so hard, speaking up for independence, speaking up for all these reforms that we're talking about. And because of that, you were criminalized, you were then arrested and thrown into a prison for those 10 months or 1 year, 3 months. But you are here with us tonight and you are speaking your voice. A lot of people fear speaking out because they fear the consequences. But look at where our country is now. I just want to thank you for that. And I wanted people who are here to also know that, remember, we had a Mako Monday. This is the Mako that we were having that Monday, remembering and wishing for and praying for to be released from the prison that he was. And we are here with him today.
But you need to show me.
Yeah. So thank you very much. And just a quick update. So far, in terms of the fundraiser that we've got, we have raised about 1,100. That's so far what we have raised. And my ask is, Zimbabweans, citizens, we have a lot of work to do, and it is us who pave this way. Look at how our president has been doing in Zimbabwe and the team on the ground. They have been going literally everywhere. And like you heard, they've been sleeping in the cars. They have been just like everyone else as an ordinary person. And they are getting to an extent where they're even removing this business of going to sit on their own and they're sitting together with the people there. What else can you ask for? I'm going to give the floor to Tamuka and then Chambi. I know you've been waiting for a while. You can go ahead and speak. Tamuka, you can unmute. Chambi, Tamuka is not able to speak. Can you go ahead and speak, please?
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, host. Good evening, fellow Zimbabweans, fellow citizens. I don't have much to say besides that. Mine is a bit of a concern. I don't really know. I've been following the fundraising for CC, the car issue, and now the rally campaigns and the agent issue. I'm a bit concerned with the number of funds that are running, and all these funds that are currently running, they're running for one organization, which is Triple C. I don't understand why we have so many of them running when we are all pushing for one goal, which is to free Zimbabwe or to fundraise for one organization, which is Triple C. So it's a bit of concern with the way the fund has been raising. I know people are hungry for change. People want change. Zimbabweans are giving. For example, I've seen that there's a fundraising for every rally. There's a fundraising for Mwonzora, fundraising for Zimbabwe Grounds, for example, fundraising for Blawayo. If we all have this common thing that is uniting us, common cause that is bringing us together, why are we finding ourselves running parallel fundraising? Is that not confusing? That's just one concern. And also, I've seen some tweets regarding agents and everything, which is a good thing. I really appreciate the effort that people are doing, citizens are doing, and it's one thing that Triple C needs to really work on and invest on. And it's a concern again. I'm not saying what people are doing or what they are initiating is bad or whatever it is bad, but my concern is some of the information is of intelligent nature. You don't want to alert the enemy what you're going to do, how you're going to do for that tabulation. You know, I don't know. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It is really a good thing. Then don't get me wrong, colleagues. But my worry is some of these things, because maybe people have been betrayed in 2018 when we had a situation where there were no agents and we need agents. But if you are going to run your own system for that tabulation, is it not worth it to do it in the background? We know the enemy that we're dealing with. This enemy is called Zanu. For example, we are doing the voters roll. I'm part of Team Patriot, and right now we have a former Harare mayor behind bars for registering so many people. This system comes back and tries to trick you another way. We are dealing with a bigger system here. Why is there a need to give them all this information out? Is it not okay for us to just say we need agents, we need this much money for agents, and then the final details we keep them out of the limelight? I'm just giving my 2 cents here, colleague. I think that those are my two contributions. If I can just get an answer on why we have so many funds going on and why is there a need for one organization to have so many fundraising, one for each rally, and then the other one for the next rally, the other one for agents. Why are people not coming together and just doing one thing? That's just a bit of concern for me. And I did see that there was some fund, I don't know who's managing it, that is a monthly debit order facility, which is a good thing. And maybe I should add just one concern also on my side is that there's so much that is being done by ordinary people. And I've highlighted this some of the leadership in Triple C that it's very sad that most of these leaders they don't even talk about fundraising, they don't even promote it on their handles. They leave it to people like Kuda, people like Villager to do all these things. But these people have a pulling power. If Nelson Chamisa pins a tweet about fundraising on his page, you get so many people because there's almost 1 million followers. Why our leaders not being proactive also? So I think those are my 3 areas of concern that I just want us to.
Paying any of these guys for what they're doing at the moment, right? I think they'll be probably paid in time by being given positions of power through our votes. But as it stands today, we have to consider that I cannot expect President Chamisa to be on his Twitter all the time tweeting out stuff because he not only has a practice to still look after, he also has a family, he also has he has to eat. There's a whole lot of things that compounded in that man's life. Plus, he has to entertain us at these rallies and inspire us at these rallies and dance on the stage and all these things. So these are a lot of things happening in the leadership. And I genuinely now feel a lot more empathy than I did before. I'm much more empathetic at the amount of pressure that some of the leadership are under right now. Some of them
are still in court for various hocus pocus deals. I mean, Honorable BT is still in court. I mean, there's a lot of Honorable Janama Mombe is up and down in court, does not got a passport. There's a lot going on. But at the same time, we expect them to smile and be there for us and so forth. So I think it's acceptable for us as a citizen to say, look, uh, we're going to do Operation Golden Shield. We're going to try and raise money for the agents, because that's something that we as citizens want. We desperately want it, right? Because let these leaders put themselves on the block for us. Let them put their heads above the parapet. Let them choose to go into leadership positions and lead the team. But we as the citizens want to facilitate for a fair vote count, a defended vote count. And that's something that I think we're going to have to stomach for the time being. The reason why there's so many fragmented versions of fundraisers is because there is a lot of fundraising that needs to happen. The monthly one that the diaspora desk is doing is so important, because President Chamisa needs a PA or two or three. We're gonna have to get telephones, a permanent office structure, a secretariat, people to look after day-to-day runnings of the party. Someone to call the faithful every now and then, airtime, etc. So if you as diaspora can guarantee a certain amount of cash that the party can count on and budget on, they can actually start making effective hires right now. But that's something that's not currently happening. And I know Honorable Kota had said yesterday, guys, that right now, because of the by-elections, there's a lot of fragmentation. But we have been assured by the leadership that post-mortem, we've had a look at what's happened and so forth. They are going to consolidate a lot of these efforts into one fund, where people will be able to fund their elections, fund their party, fund their president, fund their elected officials, and move in that direction. And that's a promise that we're going to have to hold them accountable for. We will not accept, after the by-elections, Madisnyongoro, we should not accept kusarongeka. We should not accept a candidate not having posters and not being funded and not being able to move around, because that's not good enough for a citizens movement. If we play our part, we are going to expect them to play their part. I have been crying for a Nico Cash number, because Zimbabweans are saying we also want to contribute. How do we send EcoCash? Till now, no one has sent EcoCash. But now I understand. I'm empathetic. No one has decided, no one has been able to go to Stuart Bank, fill out the forms. Is there a constitution even for the party yet? Is there, I mean, even if you were to say you want to do membership cards, what is the current what is the current constitution for membership to CCC? What are the rules that you have to follow? What are the rules that you cannot break to be a part of the organization? These are all extremely complex things that the leadership has to be dealing with right now, and they must deal with them. They must tell us, when I want to join, these are the rules I'm accepting to be part of this association. These are the things that I want to be able to participate in, and this is how much I'm willing to pay to be associated. Because we've been in other countries, the Labour Party, the Conservative Party, they all have very structured membership, structured and faithful, which keep the parties going. And then during the elections, they have big fundraisers, then they have the big donors. So these are some of the things that the party has to sort out. We have 10 days, guys, and we really don't have time to now, chastise our leadership for not kurungika and stuff, because I understand what they've been going through. Zita Torwa, the party headquarters was taken, the money was taken, MPs were recalled, cars were removed from these MPs. I mean, it's chaos. And we're expecting these people to smile and come on spaces with us. I'm much more sympathetic now. I really feel for the leadership. I mean, I witnessed the operations in Kwazana East yesterday with Honorable Wende. I saw what Honorable Murisi was doing. I see what Honorable Chombo was doing. There's a lot of work on the ground. These guys are tired. They're leading teams. They're trying to keep people motivated with very little resources. We're all gonna have to play our part for the time being, and hopefully, this beautiful thing called CCC, this yellow monster, is going to turn into a beautiful, beautiful monster when everyone has time to now really take a deep breath and consolidate. But please, the empathy is, please forgive. Right now, you have to have a long, suffering heart. Please forgive. Nothing is as it seems. There's a lot of work to do. And I'm just hoping that some of us adding our energy, all of you guys adding your monies, your volunteering, your move door to doors, that's the stuff that's going to make a big change. But right now, we've got to focus. If we do not put up that golden shield and defend our vote, we are dead in the water. and we're gonna have to work a lot harder in this coming 10 days. Cheers.
Thank you, thank you, my brother Kuda. Thank you. We're gonna have to be a few minutes for the next speakers, please. The Zimbabwe, the Zim Revolution, and followed by James, then Vicent, and then we have Kathija, and then Constant, and then we finish with Peppo. I think Peppo, you spoke earlier.
Right. Thank you so much, host, for giving me this opportunity.